Bonjour à tous, Privyet Drizia. So welcome back again and Merry Christmas to everyone. So in today's wonderful discussion, we're talking about a very, very important topic about the 5 tasks to do in the next decade. We thank God for keeping us in the first decade of the 21st century. So in today's wonderful discussion, we're talking about the 5 tasks you and I should do in the coming decade, that is 2020 to 2030. Okay, so in life can be divided into 3 different stages. Whether you're a male or a female, you must move through these 3 different stages of life. The first stage of life is your learning stage, right? That's comprised of the first 25 to 30 years of your life. That is the period in which you learn a new language, you learn about your culture, you learn about the different beliefs and the different biases that you become accustomed to. This is the same period that you tend to prefer something more than others. This is where you become built up with a particular kind of culture. This is a period you go to school to learn a new skill or to pick up a career. That is your first 25 to 30 years of your life. That is your learning stage. Then the next stage of life is your earning stage. This is the period in which you use what you learned in your first 25 years or 30 years of your life to earn, to make wealth, to accumulate profit, to make impact. This is your next stage of life. That is your earning stage. So if you look throughout history, people that are still remembered who made so much impact, they usually died in this particular age, their earning stage, right? So it's very, very important that you keep this stage very, very well. Most people stop learning in their earning stage and they become stuck with their old career, which they did from their learning stage, which is not the best. So your learning stage, you learn something new, you become what you are. Then your earning stage, you earn from what you have become. Very important and very, very interesting. Then the next stage is your distributing stage, which is the last 25 years of your life till you die, right? That is where people tend to think about legacy. They tend to think about the kind of properties they are going to leave to their children, what people are going to remember them for, who is going to cater for them when they die, when they are old, very old. This is your distribution stage. But the best thing is to combine them together as you move throughout life. But these are the basics. You learn, you earn, then you distribute. So let's see the various tasks you should do in the next decade from 2020 to 2030, right? These are some basic stuff you should do in not only just life, but in every aspect of life. So the first task you should do is the task of discovery, right? The task of discovery. All of them are these, so that you'll be able to remember them. The first task is discovery. So what are you going to discover? So the word discover comes from 2 words, this and then cover, right? So anytime you say discover, it means that something was covered and you are trying to remove the cover from it. Anytime you hear the word this, it means that you are trying to undo something. So discover means you are trying to undo the covering. You are trying to take something that is covering something. And anything that is covered to protect it, to secure it. Just like your heart is covered, right, within your ribs. All your vital organs are within your rib cage. Or your brain, a very, very important asset, is in your brain, right? It is in your skull. So everything that is covered is visually very, very vital. So we are going to discover a lot of things. So what are the things you're supposed to discover? I call them the P's that you're supposed to discover. The P's, right? The first P you should discover is your purpose. Who you are and why you were created. It is very, very important. To succeed in the next decade and in all the decades that are going to follow in your life, you must discover your purpose. You must uncover your purpose. You must know why you were created and who you are. Very, very important. Which is the first thing you should do about discovery. You should also discover your potential, what you are able to do, your capability, your potential, your capacity, what you're able to do. Very, very important. It is very important for you to discover your potential. You have to move from your comfort zone to do things that you have never thought of doing, so that you're able to discover all the various potentials that are hidden within you. Just like electricity has been there since God created the world, but man was not able to benefit from it until they discovered that there's something called kinetic energy, which you can use to convert potential energy to kinetic energy, then to electrical energy. So in the same way, you should do some discoveries, which is the first task to do in the next decade, right? And you should also discover your position. You function best in your element. You function best in the right environment. It is very important. The right environment can make you prosper well. The right environment can make you function properly. Very interesting. So your position and your environment is very important thing that you should discover. And you should know how to discover new environment and new places by traveling and getting new experience. The next P that you should discover is people. You have to discover a new set of people. You have to move beyond just the normal people you know to know different kinds of people. Different people from different cultures, from different ethnicities, from different belief systems, so they'll be able to touch people, so they're able to see how people See different people's perspective, not only just your perspective. Then the next thing you should also discover is your passion, what you love, not just any passion, but your valuable passion, passion that can add value to you and add value to others, passion that you can make money from, right? Not just any passion. Then the next P that you should discover is process, how things work, how systems function, how to do things. Very, very important. Then the next P that you should discover is period. When to do what you're supposed to do, when to deploy your potential, when to express your passion. Very important. So that's the first task you should do in the next decade, right? That's the first task you and I should do. The next task is development. So it's not enough for you to discover something, you have to also develop it. When you discover gold, it's not enough, you have to rather refine the gold. You have to develop the gold. You have to purify the gold, make it into something better. So the next thing you should do apart from discovery is the task of development. So what are you going to develop? You must develop yourself, right? So you discover your purpose, you discover your potential. What are the various skills I need to make sure that my potential is making the most benefit or the most impact? So you have to do skill development. That means you have to keep on learning, keep on reading a lot of books every week, watching a lot of documentaries, listening, going to school, doing a lot of interesting things to develop yourself, to make yourself more important. Because most of the things that we are doing now, a time is coming, all of them are going to be automated by machines and by computers. So you have to keep on developing yourself, keep on getting new skills. We are moving into the fourth industrial age, which is the age of AI, the age of artificial intelligence, in which AI or computers are going to surpass the mental capacity of human beings, right? One computer can surpass the mental capacity of maybe 10 human beings. So you have to keep on developing new skills, developing new stuff. Then you also need patron development. Patron development means that you need mentors. You need to read a lot of books from people that have gone ahead of you, people who have excelled more than you, and learn from them. And you also need discipline. So the next task that you need to know is the task of deployment. So after discovering, you develop what you have discovered, your potential, your purpose, then you must deliver it, you must deploy it, you must let other people benefit from it. So in deployment and delivery, the most important thing is that you have to use it, right? What you do not use, you lose. What you don't use, you lose. If you learn a language and you don't use it, you lose it. If you learn a new skill and don't use it, you lose it. So what you use, you keep on updating it, but what you don't use, you lose. So you must deploy what you have discovered, you must deploy what you have developed. Trading is key here and visibility is key here. You have to get attention. You have to let people know that you exist. You have to let people know that you have something to offer them. You have something that is going to contribute to their life, right? You have to distribute what you have developed. Then the next thing you need is you have to defend it. It's not enough for you to deploy. You must defend, because we are living in a world that there are a lot of competition, and not everybody likes you, right? And not everybody you also like. The same way you don't like a lot of everybody, the same way people don't also like you. So there are people that love you, people who are not going to like this. To some people, you're a miracle worker. To some people, you are what? Not even a miracle worker. You are a noise maker to them, right? So let's see some interesting stuff you should do concerning defense. You should know how to protect whatever you have developed and you are deploying from decay, from deterioration, from becoming outdated. You have to keep on updating yourself so that you don't become outdated. If you don't update yourself, you just get out of the system and get outdated. So how many of us still buy calendars? Very few people buy calendars, because now calendar is outdated. Nobody prints hard copy calendar again. Everybody's phone has calendar, everybody's laptop, tablet has calendar. So you have to keep on updating yourself, learning new things, building systems to make sure that you are defended in case anything happens. Then the next thing that you need is you also need to discipline, or you have to not only just discipline, but you also discipline yourself to disciple people, right? You have to make sure that you train people, you pass on what you have learned, what you have discovered to the next generation. You have to learn how to leave legacies. People that are remembered forever are people that have discovered something, they have developed it, they have deployed it, they have defended it, and they have discipled, they have passed it on to the next generation. So these are some of the things that you and I should learn. These are some of the tasks that you and I should pick up in the next decade. I hope you have learned something. Thank you, and then see you blessed in the next decade. Thank you, and stay blessed.